Research Now. Thank you. Welcome back to Research Now Live. I'm your host, Daria Nachman, and please join me in welcome Daria Nachman from ABC National TV Sales.
Correct. Thank you for getting it right.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So, Director of Marketing Research. Now, you've been doing this for a few years. What does your day look like?
Quite some time. Well,
Yeah.
ABC National TV Sales is the group that sells the 8 owned stations that sometimes people forget we own TV stations.
Yeah.
And my job is really to tell people about who our audience is, not how big it is. And so I'm all about seeing the world from a marketer's eye, which is kind of unique on the media side.
Yeah.
So my job is to understand the motivations behind consumer behavior and hopefully show why either targeting markets or our markets or our properties would help a brand build its sales, customer base, market share.
Super interesting. So you mentioned understanding consumer behavior. What are some of the interesting changes you've seen in consumer behavior over the past year or so?
Well, I think media is very much like in the same boat as CPG and stuff, where CPG had to change from brands to private labels. That was huge. I mean, it's like a sea change. And by the way, one of the fixes for that is to target markets where people actually buy brands, but that's just an editorial. But on the media side, and that's consumer behavior too, you have this whole thing with people trying to get their content for free. Not that that wasn't always happening, but the proliferation is huge. And that's going to affect everybody, not just media companies that make money off media, but also marketers who are trying to connect to people via media, because that's the best way to, as we learned at the conference, to initiate conversations and to get word of mouth going. So it's going to be a huge deal about people trying to avert, trying to get content without paying for it or seeing ads.
Absolutely, I can see that. And the one trend that you think is worth watching, and what's interesting about that trend
I think the aversion part is huge. The part of the equation, the aversion part, people trying to not only get their content for free, but try to get it as ad-free as possible. It's like, it's so funny because they want all this great content, and it's like there's a total disconnect that great content costs money. And the media companies that make great content, they kind of need some income to do it. And here's the ironic part. It seems to me, now there's no research on this, and sorry. It seems to me that the vast majority of those who try to avert commercials and try to get their content for free, they tend to be on the younger side, and they tend to want to work in media. And I'm wondering where they think their paycheck would come from if they finally land that good glamour job. So it's just a question I have for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've been in the business for a while, and I'm sure you come across lots of different buzzwords.
Buzzwords.
Yeah, what's one of the
I live in a world of buzzwords, and the one that's bothering me now is cord cutting. And it's not so much because it isn't happening, and it's going to happen. It's the implication that cord cutting means you can't have TV.
Right.
And I come from a world, broadcast TV, where last I checked, we're available via antenna, so cut all the cords you want, but you don't have to take that TV off your wall. Go get an antenna. So the word cord cutting drives me crazy, and tied into that is the consumer, for the most part, actually believes when they get rid of cable, they have to get rid of TV. There was a great example when Lynn TV was pulled off Time Warner. People are calling up complaining they can't get their football game. Meanwhile, football's on broadcast TV. All they had to do was get an antenna, boom, boom, boom. And hopefully there's companies now that are actually helping people cut the cord without losing TV. You guys are my heroes, whoever you are. Out in St. Louis, we love you.
Shout out to St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis, you rock.
You must be thinking about, I think everyone thinks about a bucket list. Do you have one? If you do, what's your top three things?
My bucket list is somewhat non-media, though somewhat media, because I also have a book. I'm going to throw on the side the billions of books I bought that one day I will read. Many of them to help me in my professional life, but it'll probably be after my professional life. But definitely want to learn the keyboards. I have music in my soul, and I bought keyboards, and I have to have time to learn how to play them because I don't want to go without having actually played music, being a consumer of music for so long. Secondly, is I want to relearn the French I didn't pay attention to in high school, so I can go to like Quebec City and have a blast.
So you just love the language?
It's just, you know what? The whole idea of learning another language was something that I hated for a long time, and I really want to do it now, but I figure I have one where I had a little bit of a head start, like I know some nouns, so I figure it'll take me less time to learn French. And the third is I've had I don't want to say lifetime, but I've had a long, long journey to find a purple car.
A purple car?
A purple car. And
any brand of
Well, I had two that I tried to get my hands on that I can't. One was a 1998 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am in purple. There were only 12 made, so I doubt I'll ever get it. And there was a 1996 Mustang Cobra in deep violet. I would love that if anyone has one to sell. It's got to be a 6-speed stick, but my goal is to get But my goal is to actually own a purple car. If it can't be factory, I'm just going to one day paint my Jetta. I just want to have a purple car with a fuchsia interior. Thank you.
Oh, it gets deeper. Excellent.
So that it's not the most ambitious bucket list, probably because I live my life a million miles an hour, but it's my bucket list.
I like it. Piano, French, purple car.
It's what I want.
Okay. So I know you're a big sports fan.
Correct.
You're coming up close to the end of the March Madness.
I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on college basketball.
Who do you think is going to win?
I'm going to tell you that I did correctly pick 3 of the Final 4.
That's good.
And if Kentucky beats Ohio State, I'll finish 4th in the ABC pool, the ABC National TV Sales pool. Thank you very much.
Commendable.
So I'm going to say Kentucky's going to beat Ohio State only because I have a financial interest in it. But trust me when I tell you that I didn't pick out those brackets all by myself. Thank you to KenPalm.com and his special rankings. They actually work. So, just like any good researcher, I just know where to get the data and I use it properly.
Good work. Listen, you've been amazing. If anyone knows how we can get hold of a purple car,
thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Just let me know. And not the PJ Cruiser. I already know it exists. I don't want it.
No PT Cruiser.
PT Cruiser. Sorry, I got that mixed up with the truck. Okay.
I want to give you a little gift to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Of course. Thank you, Daria Nachman.
Thank you.
So stick around for more Research Now Live.